Hey everyone, this is my fourth journal entry. It's just going to be a little update on from my last video on my doctor's appointment, where we go from here, what changes I'm making, and a couple other things. I'm going to try to keep it a little shorter because I have my 6-year-old here next to me and she likes to pop in every so often. And she gets very hammy and wants to be center of attention. So,
No.
no? Oh, sorry. Anyway, so I had an appointment on Friday with my doctor for my blood test results on my liver. But after I told him that, my symptoms were progressing, and actually that morning, Friday morning, I'd gotten really, really sick. Like I had got sick like 6 times, and I was really nauseous and things like that. And so he's more concerned with my digestive system and the fact that my body is not getting what it needs. He's like, we'll deal with your liver and pancreas, but we need to work on your GI tract first, which makes sense. I'm like, yes, please, thank you. And I told him, I said, the worst part is the nausea. And I said, sometimes I have to resort to unhealthy means of dealing with my nausea. And so he prescribed me these. They're antispasmodic. Sorry, I don't have my glasses. I don't know where they are. Are you okay? Zofran, I guess an antispasmodic for my stomach. Sorry, she had quite the coughing fit there. I guess apple juice went down the wrong tube. Apple juice went down the wrong tube. Yeah. Yeah, it basically, I do like them because you put it on your tongue and it dissolves and it tastes like watermelon, so it's really good. And he's like, I know, like when you're nauseous, the last thing I want to do is swallow pills. And I'm like, yes. Because I end up having to take a bigger gulp of water and it fills up my stomach and I tend to get bloated, and so I was really happy. And it's actually really helped me stave off those undesirable means of combating my nausea. Because, I used to drink, like for pleasure, I liked my vodka Red Bulls, things like that. But now, even the V word, just thinking of the V word, makes me nauseous. It grosses me out. I think there's an empty pint bottle of it in the kitchen. When I walk in and I see that bottle, I instantly get nauseous. So what I've been doing is, I know I'm supposed to get a referral from a GI specialist this week sometime. So in the meantime, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to keep taking nausea medicine, and I know a lot of my nausea comes from dehydration. So I've been trying to keep myself dehydrated. And what I've been doing is throughout the whole day, whenever I feel dehydrated, I would alternate between this is electrolyte enhanced water, and either Gatorade or like Powerade. I like the Gatorade because it has that sweetness to it, and it helps coat my throat because my throat gets really, really dry, and my mouth gets really dry, and it kind of adds that more of that hydration, and so I don't get so nauseous. Now, food-wise, it's so hit and miss with food. I'm actually terrified of food. So I keep going back through. like the gastroparesis diet, and I'm looking and I'm like, what can I try? Because it says, oh, refined bread, like white bread, Wonder Bread. And I can't eat bread. I cannot eat bread. It will make me sick. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't eat bread. And it says, like, soup. I like soup. And so it was, I saw that. I didn't think that I could eat, like, beans, like, and legumes and stuff because of the fiber content. But I guess they're more protein. And I found out that as long as I puree the beans, I should be okay. So I had my husband get me some bean soup. And he got me a can of Amy's Organic lentil, which I love Amy's Organic. Um, they're not telling me to say that. I just love them. But Amy's, I mean, it's like processed, and frozen and stuff, but it's so good. Um, I'll be right back. Sorry, mom duty. So I love their soups. So my husband got me the can of Amy's Organic lentil soup. And what I used to do was I knew that I couldn't eat a normal portion. So what I would do is I would, like, let's say make a bowl of soup, weigh the bowl of soup on my food scale, eat what I could, and then weigh it again to see how much I had actually eaten. And I found out that I could eat maybe 3 or 4 ounces before I'm done. So what I've been doing is I take about 4 ounces of the bean soup and I put it in my mini food processor and I puree it and then I heat it up and eat it. And, sometimes I'll have like oyster crackers with it or corn nuts. I love corn nuts. I had that last night. And as long as I chewed up really well, I'm totally fine. Um, hydration break. Um, so I'm like, okay, I found something that works for me. And I'm going to stick with it, until I can see a specialist and find out what else I can do. So that's kind of my meal plan. I have water, I have Gatorade, I have pureed bean soup, and I have corn nuts.
Cornet.
Not corn nest, corn nuts.
Cornet.
Close enough.
Corn noose.
Not corn noose either. So, with the lack of nutrients and hydration comes, it comes the fatigue, lightheadedness. It's tough for me just to do regular stuff like cooking, cleaning, taking care of my 2 kids. And so I've had people say to me, well, if you could barely do that stuff, how are you going to work?
Corn Mickey Mouse.
And stenography, it's not so labor intensive. I mean, you sit there and you type. That's all you do. And I can do that. That is not a problem. Initially I wanted to start a sewing business to raise the money for my sonography equipment. But, as soon as I started letting people know, I started getting requests like, quilts and window treatments and this and that. And I'm like, I can do all that stuff. I can do it. But it becomes labor intensive. There's a lot of moving around, bending, and I cannot move around too much because I will get sick. So I'm like, well, I can't do that, And I was like, okay, I need to raise a minimum of $850. So my husband can't help me. So I have to figure it out on my own. And I have another friend who suggested GoFundMe. And at first I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I am not in a situation that's bad enough to warrant GoFundMe. And she was like, well, she's like, you need to work to provide for yourself and your kids. You need to be prepared. I mean, she's like, I know you're married, your husband's the breadwinner, but you never know. You need to be prepared. And I'm like, I know, but where am I going to get $850 from? And she was like, just try it. Just make your GoFundMe, tell people what's going on. And if they help you, great. And what's the worst that could happen? Nobody helps you. She's like, then you brainstorm a plan B. I'm like, yeah. So I did that. I created a GoFundMe. I'll link it below so you guys can read a little bit more. Um, I'm asking for 1,000 because the extra $150 I'm gonna put towards I want to put towards books um, on legal terminology, things like that. Because eventually, like next year, we're moving to Las Vegas, and we have family in Southern California. Well, my mother-in-law is in Southern California, and we can't afford to live in Southern California right now. Uh, but Las Vegas is close enough, and they're more reasonable, as far as rent and things like that. My husband wants to get a job with the gaming commission. Good for him. I think that's admirable. Um, and eventually, I would like to get certified and work as a court reporter for San Diego County. Um, I believe in myself enough that I know I can do it. I know I can. I just need the opportunity. It's like I just need my equipment and all is good with the world because I will be able to have be able to take care of myself and my kids. You know? That is what's so important. I grew up, I was in bad situations. I was homeless. I was and want I don't want to have to be there again. I was told that I have this talent to be a stenographer. And it's like, why aren't you feeding that talent? What are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, if you have the ability and the talent to do it, do it. With that talent, you can provide for yourself and your family and your kids. And, you don't have to sit around and cross your fingers and wait for the stimulus check to come through or your disability check or, your cash aid check. She was like,
No.
and I'm like, and it's like when someone tells you the truth, you get mad because you don't want to hear the truth. It's
No,
like,
it's fail.
so, yeah, and so I'm like, what? She's like, what? You need help to get this equipment, obviously. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to create a page, and someone's gonna help you. She's like, someone will. You just have to have the faith that you're gonna get to where you want to go. Universe helps those who help themselves. You gotta help yourself, and so that's what I'm doing. Um, I I don't want to go on disability. I don't feel like I'm in a place where it would even be approved. And I don't want to sit around and wait for a disability check every month. I'm sorry, but that's not how I was raised. I mean, disability is for people who really, really, really need it. I can work. I can work. I don't need to go on disability. I would rather they take that money and give it to someone who really needs it. I just have to focus on getting my equipment and then, I can start paying it forward. I can help other people who need it, you know? People have helped me out in the past when I needed it, I can turn around and help out other people.
You say bye-bye.
So,
Oh, no.
that's going to be my video. You know, I've remade this video a couple times, and I keep saying it's not going to be as long, but then I get into these little rants and little stories and things I want to say, and it turns out, no, it's the same. You know? So, I'm going to end it here. My next video is going to be after my next appointment. Hopefully the GI specialist gets back to me this week. Hopefully I can get an appointment. If not this week, then next week. Probably next week. We'll probably do it. And I'll let you guys know what's happening. Okay? I will see you next video. Have a great week and have a great weekend. Say bye-bye.
Bye.